Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, warshippers of all ages, I am SeaRaptor, and this is another edition of Scuttlebutt. As we get started here, game in the background is a game I played in Tier 8 British Premium Aircraft Carrier, Indomitable. I played this game just today, so it is being played under the new AA changes in 0.8.0.1. If you're unaware, Indomitable's big gimmick is that she doesn't have any torpedo planes. She's all about rockets and bombs and setting fires for days. She's an 8th Air Force incendiary raid with a flight deck. So enjoy. I sure hope everybody's had a better week than Wargaming has had. No Zoop for You over on his channel called it Wargaming in the No Good Very Bad Week. In his latest video, the Warships podcast crew simply titled it A Very Bad Week for Wargaming. However you slice it, it has been rough seas in World of Warships since 0.8.0 dropped. The internet firestorm over the patch just continues to churn as it quickly became evident last week that Japanese Tier 10 carrier Hakuryu was just horribly broken. Server and world damage records were shattered, while screen caps and memes drown out even the most reasoned discussion about the changes in the patch and the new mechanics. The primary reason for this, I feel, can really be placed on the AA system in 0.8.0, which just gutted most ship AA in terms of range and damage, and overemphasized flak bursts that players could steer around. And let's be honest, this is the kind of thing that probably should have gotten caught before it went live. I mean, I'll admit I missed it on PTS, mostly because I spent too much of my time playing with the revamped Tier 8 premium carriers that they had given CCs access to. On the face of it, it's just simple math. If planes respawn on your deck at a certain rate, and very few, if any, of your planes die during an attack run, carry the one, yeah, you can basically just spam one squadron type forever, which is, of course, exactly what people were doing. This particular garbage wasn't limited to Hakuryu, though. Old favorite of the channel, Graf Zeppelin, was also a notable culprit. So today, Wargaming put out 0.8.0.1 with a bunch of fixes to try and bring some of these outliers back into line. It feels great to a lot of players, however, now that they've swung the pendulum so far in the other direction, ship AA, I think, is just kind of too strong. There was a lot of lively discussion today on the various Discords I hang out on. The removed CV crowd is loving the changes, while most people who had fully embraced our new CV overlords are understandably less than amused. I suspect, personal opinion, AA is a tad overtuned right now, and that we'll see yet another patch of adjustments before things really start to settle in. Personally, I think probably another 10-15% less off of most DPS auras in the Tier 9 to 10 bracket probably isn't unreasonable given how potent a lot of the AA up there really is. And I think in probably some of the mid-tiers, the flak bursts, they've been nerfed a little too far. So we'll see. Incidentally, Tier 10 British aircraft carrier Audacious, currently in testing, is really not bothered by some of these changes. I don't know if you guys have taken the time to do the math and look at, but her plane health numbers are crazy. All buffed out, her torpedo bombers have nearly 3,000 hit points per plane. That's like 27,000 hit points in a squadron. It's going to take a lot of AA auras to chew through that over time. So, whew. The online forums and social media, unfortunately, has gotten so bad that even Sub-Octavian is taking a break. I was really bummed to hear this. On a post in Reddit late Tuesday night, he announced that he was taking a break from Reddit and the various forums and social media bits for an unspecified amount of time. I was really upset to hear this. I'm not surprised though, right? I think there's a lot of folks out there who don't appreciate Sub. I think maybe they haven't played enough games where they don't realize how valuable this kind of communication really is. He's such a good communicator. For a native Russian to have his command of the English language, yes, I realize he has an education in English, but that makes him invaluable when trying to communicate decisions to the non-Russian speaking community, of which there are a lot of us, right? And he cares so much about his job and doing it well. And I think just all the hatred and toxicity around the patch and everything just finally wore him down. It's just sad, right? It's sad we've managed to push away somebody so valuable to understanding what's actually going on in the minds of the development team. We've lost that insight, basically, for as long as he chooses to stay away. And I think we're worse off for it. So I understand. I wish him well. I hope he returns once he's had a break and some time to get away and recalibrate. It sounds like he was also kind of struggling a bit with maybe some work-life balance issues, and I get that. They've been pushing themselves. It sounds like they've been pushing themselves really hard since the first of the year to get this patch out the door. The real winner of all the anti-CV rage, though, has been, drumroll please, the Season 11 ranked queue, which has been healthy and full of all kinds of players just looking to avoid the carrier apocalypse. This has been good and bad, but the rank 6 and below bracket's been a pretty good place to grind out XP on my Jutland. I've been pretty happy. So I did try a game or two in Udloy. I wasn't real happy with her. I know some people were making her work, and more power to you. So good for you. Kitakazi, of course, is super popular. I did have a couple good games in black. You see a lot of Musashi if you own Musashi, and so on. So tier 9 ranked has been a pretty good place to go to run away and just get away from carriers for a while. And I've actually surprisingly really been enjoying the arms race format in ranked. I didn't think I was going to say those words, because when they tested arms race last fall, I thought it was just stupid. But I'm kind of a convert here. I do wish that the buff capture areas had more of an impact on the team points, but I really like that eventually you get that central spawn in the center of the map that everybody is kind of driven to fight it out towards the end. I've had more than one game I've won where we've been kind of, let's say, down on ships or not looking so good in the health department, but we managed to capture that central area because my team, has pushed in and driven their surviving enemy ships away, and then we're camped out in there basically saying, all right, bros, come get us, you know? And that's worked out really well. And I'm enjoying it. I've been able to grind up a lot of good XP in Jutland. So digging tier 9 ranked. 2 thumbs up from SeaRaptor on this season. Of course, that wasn't it. Like, the CV rage wasn't enough. As if all the rage about 080 wasn't enough on Tuesday morning, Wargaming lobbed another tactical nuke into the mix, this time daring to touch one of the truly sacred cows of World of Warships, the idea that premium ships don't get radically changed. Unless it's for the better. The announcement they were going to test a version of Giulio Cesare at tier 6 with some appropriate tweaks to her stats and armor came as something of a shock, and a lot of players across social media who had been, let's say, moderately reasonable in talking about 080, they got out their torches and pitchforks, going so far as to threaten legal action and all kinds of other nonsense. If you're in that camp, guys, I respect your opinion. I don't see how you can defend the idea that having premiums so overpowered they can't be sold again is in any way, shape, or form healthy for the game. I just don't see it. Cesare, Giulio Cesare, for example, outdamages I think almost every tier 7 battleship and has something like a 60% win rate on nearly every server on the globe. Belfast, Mikhail Kututsov, Impera Nikolai. These are ships that are sought after and coveted because they're so ridiculously broken that Wargaming won't straight up sell them again. Can anyone honestly look me in the eye and tell me that that's good for balance? That's good for the overall health and balance of the game? Does anybody else remember the tier 7 season of Ranked and all of the just world of Belfasts? Like, why do we tolerate this, right? When tech tree ships are OP, they get slapped. They should. Premium ships should be no different. They have to be held to the same standard. And I'm glad to see Wargaming is finally challenging the community, challenging this concept. If we can get Cesare to a good spot, right, where she's competitive and balanced for a tier, then what's to stop us from doing the same for all of the other OP premiums? And then once we've gotten them to that point, they can all come back to the shop or be put back in the tech tree for doubloons or whatever, right? I am stoked for this idea. It torques me off, right, that we have iconic museum ships like Belfast and Kututsov and Missouri that aren't available to the general public. New players coming into the game, right, they don't have access to these ships. We've seen time and time again how passionately players build emotional links to these museum ships. Just look at all the crap Alabama Gates caused on the NA server just a few years ago. These ships need to be available. We've got to get this right somehow. There's got to be a middle ground. As a community, as the development team, we've got to find a way to make this work. We should not ever have ships in World of Warships so OP that they're removed from sale and can never return. That's the idea is lunacy. So I don't know. We've got to get there, guys. And I don't know if you're on the other side of this argument. Well, I'm sorry. I don't agree with you. I'm not ever going to agree with you. I'm very passionate about this. We need new players coming to this game, right? Like, you know, what draws people in. And I said this on the Anaheim video that got posted on the main channel, right? Warships, the love of history, that passion, draws people in, right? And sometimes that connection is made at a specific museum ship. And we have so many iconic museum ships available in the game. But how many of them are so broken we can't sell them, right? That is not okay. This needs to get fixed. Now, anyway, enough on that. Controversy and vitriolic internet rage aside, what the hell else is going on in boats this week? Well, 081 is going to PTS sometime soon, and we got a first look at what's in the patch this week. I'll put a link down below. Just because we're all still raging about the latest patch, the most recent patch, doesn't mean the next one's not coming. The development cycle stops for no man. All the talk has been around the proposed radar changes. For the record, I don't think they're going to make a damn bit of difference in terms of improving DD survivability, but at least they're making an effort. I'm really more excited to see them talking about updates, fixes, improvements to the port UI, which has just gotten so ridiculously laggy lately that I've been really frustrated with it. Also, single button will finally open all my containers. Yes, no more waiting around forever and ever for the animations to play. Oh my gosh. Little quality of life changes like that will just go a long way. I am super excited. So anyway, link down below. We'll see what else is coming in that patch when it finally goes over to test. Last week, if you watched Scuttlebutt, you heard me give a shout out to StatsBloke and a recommendation to go check him out on YouTube. Literally, like just hours after the video went live, he was officially announced as a new CC on the EU server, so congrats to him. I'll put the link to his channel down below one more time. Definitely go check him out. Stats does good work, and it's only going to get better now that he has access to all the fancy toys and test boats that all the rest of the CCs do, so that's really awesome. Tomorrow on Twitch, we are hosting WarGames IV Colombangara in preparation for King of the Sea 8 here on North America. We have, right now, we have 14 teams lined up to take the field live at 3 p.m. Eastern. So we hope, if you're not playing, that you'll tune in and watch. Should be fun. And a preview of what we're going to see in King of the Sea next month. Incidentally, signups for King of the Sea 8 will start in 10 days or so here on NA. So if you're thinking about putting together a team, start getting your ducks in a row, round up those player names and player IDs. That's all coming. Look for a formal announcement probably next week. I'm not going to lie, guys. I kind of avoided Warships this week, to be honest. Between all the rage that was going on in the community and just not really wanting to deal with the vitriol and chat and everything, I didn't really bother logging it. I didn't stream on Tuesday. I haven't been around very much. I picked up a copy of Subnautica for free over the holidays. Downloaded it on my laptop, I think, the week of Christmas when Epic put it out. Like, oh, here, free copy. Okay, sure. And randomly on Sunday night, I had this thing loaded on my laptop. I'd never played it, and I booted it up and started playing. And oh boy, was that a mistake! I barely came up for air for a few days. Pun wholly intended. Wholly intended. As somebody who played a full-time crafter for nearly 2 full years in Star Wars Galaxies, and used to drive my speed around all the various planets looking for exploration badges, Subnautica collects so many boxes in my pantheon of reasons to play a game. I've been hard pressed to put it down this week. So, but I did play a couple of games tonight in Brit CVs. That's the game you're watching now. This game in Indomitable. I had another game in Indomitable, a tier 10 game that was not as good as this one. Tier 8 carriers in a tier 10 game right now, I still think are struggling a bit. That's why I think the DPSRs need to get toned down a smidge more. And now that Hakuryu spam has kind of fallen by the wayside, or at least it appears to have, I'm going to try and get some test games in on Azuma and Nustaroshimi before we lose access to them. I thought about trying to put some time into those ships last weekend, but I was just kind of like, what's the point? Everything is so skewed right now. Everybody, you basically had to build for full AA going into a game expecting to see 2 carriers. And well, Nustaroshimi might thrive, I should say, in that environment. I wasn't sure about Azuma, and it just felt so skewed with Hakuryu, so horribly busted. I was just like, I don't want to deal with this. I'll test them when things start to settle out a bit, so I'll try and do some of that this weekend. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I've got for this week. It's been an interesting week. I've engaged a lot of people on Reddit. I've been called all kinds of fantastic names for daring to have an opinion that bucks the group mentality. I don't know how we've managed to get to that in a society anymore, where simply not going along with groupthink means that you're the enemy and worthy of insult, as opposed to no, I don't agree with your position. I challenge you to defend it. It seems like that respectful conversation and all of these kinds of things of people on two sides of an issue has just dropped off in the modern era. I don't know what's to blame for it, but it is depressing. And it's even more depressing. Like, you've been seeing it in politics for years, right? But it's just depressing when it infects a gaming community, right? We're all here for the same reason, right? We all love the game. We all love the subject matter. We want to play. We want to have fun. We want to have fun. So why are we at each other's throats, right? Why are we so pissed off about every little thing, every proposed change? I don't know. I can't explain it. It's disheartening a little bit, and so that's kind of affected me this week. I've been just kind of bummed to see the community just eating itself. It's just been, I don't know. It's been hard. Been hard to watch, right? I've seen this happen in other games, and hopefully it'll pass, right? I think it will. Warships, we've had some bouts like this, right, where we've gone through stints where the community, natters at each other and, oh, you stupid CV mains, oh, you stupid DD mains, and everybody points fingers. And then sooner or later, whatever the controversy of the day is passes, and life goes on, and we get back to playing and having fun, which is where we should be. So hopefully this will get there, and I think it will. Like, they're going to get the balance right. It's only a matter of time. It's just a simple iterative process. We just have to get there. So anyways. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the Indomitable game. This is actually a really fun ship to play. I've got some changes I'm going to recommend to her. One of the things that I would like to see them do is, if you put her next to the Tier 8 British carrier, which is Implacable. Implacable, of course, has torpedo bombers. Those torpedo bombers have a heel. Also, Indomitable's planes have no heel. I would like to see them give the heel on Indomitable to her dive bombers, which are trolley, and I say dive bombers, her level bombers, which are trolley and do a tremendous amount of damage. I would also like to see them, because she's the only carrier in the game right now with access to the fighter consumable that only has 2 types of planes on her deck, that artificially reduces the number of fighter consumables that she has to cover her friendly team. So I'd like to see them maybe tweak that a bit as well, maybe up those fighter numbers from 3 to 4 apiece and try to give her some parity there so that she has more fighter consumable charges to kind of bring her up to where the other carriers are in terms of helping to defend their teammates. So we'll see what happens, but I had a pretty good game. She's fun, and the fires for days. I've seen people post screenshots of Indomitable games with like 32 fires. It's just, it's ridiculous. All right, guys, that's it for now. I will catch you guys later. Have a good weekend. Please tune into WarGames, and I'll be here next week. Take care.